Our first speaker this evening is Pierre. Brian is new in the club, and his first speech was very promising and showed a lot of promise for what I think he can bring once he starts to see it all fall in place. I think he's going to be fantastic. The name of his speech is Living in the Moment. Please welcome Pierre.
How long is the speech?
How long is your speech?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, 5 to 7?
5 to 7. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Pleasure to be here as always. As Cheryl stated, the name of this speech is Living in the Moment. With that being said, I can recall when I was a child, I always wanted to figure out how would I be in the future. Would I be taller? Because over time I became this tall, but when I was in the 5th grade, 6th grade, I was average height, I guess. It wasn't until I hit middle school is when I really saw my growth spurt, and I was like, man, okay, by the time I get to high school, I may be 6'6", I can go to the NBA. Again, projecting myself into the future. But as I started to come into my own, come into my body, and I grew, and I realized the NBA is not an option because I got too big, football was my best trait to carry, which led me to thinking about going to the NFL. So as I reflect on the past is our best teacher. It teaches us everything that we should have known in the moment, but was ignorant to the fact of. With that being said, the past has taught me so many things. You can't change it. It's the past. That leads us to the next portion of the speech, which is the future. The future should be used as a tool, not only to help us grow, but to motivate us, meaning your aspiration, your goals, your ambitions, your desires should be strong enough to pull you into the future, but you can't live there. The future is somewhere that is not set in stone. We are the authors of our own stories. The future for me represents everything that we need to aspire to be, but we are scared to approach because we are all afraid of the unknown at some point of our lives. The future also can be scary because what does tomorrow bring? Will I have enough money for my bills? Will my kids be able to eat? Will I have this job in a year from now? Will I have enough money for retirement? But at the end of the day, the future is something that we can decide. We decided subconsciously or consciously, whether we like it or not. That's only two of the components of our lives. The past, the future, which gives you this present moment. Because when you live in the moment, there is nothing that you can't do to enjoy this moment because it's all you have. If you live in the past, you would always be lesser than because you're always going 2 steps back. If you try to project yourself into the future and you don't establish or hit a certain goal, you will set yourself up for disappointment, which again is a negative trait. But if you were to plan for the future while reflecting on the past to enjoy a better today, that's the most powerful way to approach it. So for me, what I've learned over the last decade of my life, as I'm 30 now, I spent the first portion of my 20s in commercial real estate, projecting towards the future. $100 million buildings, $1 billion portfolios, I saw all of them. And when those deals didn't close or we got screwed over and everything fell through, I was devastated because I became attached to the end goal, as I stated last week. But as I reflect on the past 5 years later, that made me stronger for the fact that at the end of the day, we have to go through certain trials and tribulations in our lives in order to realize who we truly are, because adversity introduces a man to himself. And with those adversities and those learning lessons, I can still plan for the future, But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that in this moment that we have right here, right now amongst each other, I ponder, will it be the way we should make it? Will it be the way it should be? Who knows what tomorrow brings? Tomorrow's have their own troubles. But as we stand right here, right now, all we have is this day today, the moment. I'll close with this. Coming into Toastmasters, you know, I didn't realize if I had what it took, not because I'm not confident, I just don't like speaking that much. I like to be more of an observer on what's going on and fall back. But Cheryl, Linda, Martin, Terry, all told me last week, they thought I've done this before. So I projected again, my mind is always a visionary, wanted to go into the future, me at one of these events representing our club. But thinking about my past failures on when I tried to become something that I reached for and I didn't achieve it, how I made me felt. So sitting in that seat, the best thing I could have done, and I will continue to do going forward now that I've learned from previous mistakes, is to, you know what, tell myself, one, I can do it, but in this moment, I'm just going to enjoy the compliments that my comrades gave me that encouraged me to, take another step, keep showing up Monday after Monday. Lastly, past, present, future. Everything is one in this universe. All three coincides in order to give us a better today. So with that being said, don't worry about the past. The past is the past. Don't worry about the future. It is yet to come. Live in the now. Enjoy the now. Love, joy, and happiness, health. Those are the main reasons why we're here, in order to give that to someone else. Thank you.